Part two, as we begin to finish up the Great Depression, and we already understand how the Roaring Twenties set the foundation for the Great Depression. So continue on with these tricky statements. The Red Scare caused farmers to be evicted from their land, leaving over 100,000 Americans homeless. Many farmers from Georgia, Alabama, and the surrounding Dust Bowl states traveled to New Mexico in search for apples. This, of course, is false, okay? This, of course, is all false. We know it was the Dust Bowl which caused over 500,000 Americans to be homeless. So what were they going to do? They're going to stick around or they're going to leave? So where this Dust Bowl hit the hardest was in Oklahoma, northern Texas, and the surrounding states, and they traveled to California, okay, in search for work. They were looking for work. They had to find work. They lost their money. They lost their jobs. They lost their farming. They lost their houses. So they were left homeless. This on top of the stock market crash is what's calling the severity of the Great Depression. Now, we can see here that this is where the Dust Bowl was hit the hardest. And then, of course, we're talking about massive storms of dust like sand. When you see movies and like people in the desert, this is where it was hit the hardest. So half a million people had to be displaced because of this. Now, speculators or baseball players sought to maximize their wealth through speculation, taxing in real estate and the bread market prices. A lot of speculators were able to catch up from the banks to buy stock. This, of course, is false. All right. All of this is false. Speculators are gamblers, okay, sought to maximize their wealth through guessing, just taking a guess. Like, oh, I think this is going to do it, so I'm going to play it and I'm going to try to invest into this stock market prices. Now, pretty much as if I guess, like the cost of a stock is $1, all right, and I buy 50 stocks, and then something happens and it which caused the price of that company to go up because they just invented something new. And now instead of being $1, it's $2. Well, I just made $50. So that's how they were taking the guess. But if it drops, then I lost that much money. And of course, a big issue, here we go, tying back into banks closing, is that banks were giving people loans for this to do that. So that was causing some issues. Now, and so as a result, by 1929, the U.S. economy was beginning to show signs of slowing down, and some investors to panic and sell their stocks, which causing a stock market crash on October 29th or Black Tuesday. And of course, that is true. Finally, as unemployment decreased and the stock market was failing, people could not pay back their loans to the banks. Unable to collect loans, banks began to fail and people became rich. Of course, this is false, all right? Unemployment is not going to decrease, it is going to increase, okay? And as banks began to close, people lost everything. All right, again, as always, now we understand the 1920s through the Great Depression. Smile is contagious.